To BDSM dungeon play. We've done a series on caning, bastinado, spanking. We're working through a series on strapping. So we're going to be expanding out our dungeon play focus, and we're going to look briefly at violet wands. I'm not here to tell you everything there is about violet wands. The main focus of BDSM dungeon play is going to be on the different types of wands and techniques to use them and ways to use them safely. So tonight we're just going to introduce briefly the two main types of wands you'll come across. The most common wand is just simply a portable one. The Tesla coil is inside the handle, and the attachments go in the socket at the end of the handle. Better ones have 3-prong plugs, as opposed to the older ones that are only 2-prong. The older portable wands like this had a wax core and they were subject to overheating. So I would recommend with an older unit you limit your play to 15 minutes. The newer ones are digital and they don't have a wax core and they don't have that same problem. But this is probably the most common kind of wand you're going to see. And then there's a little bit more expensive model, I suppose, that comes in a box. Tesla coils in the box, so it's not subject to overheating. And then the handle is literally just a handle that holds the attachments. So that's the two main types of wands. Some of the digital models are a little bit smaller. And there's some argument in the scene as to whether the digital ones are better or the analog ones are better. Then you're also going to have an attachment that's called a body contact probe. This one's flat. You'll see some that are done in the shape of a round tube to hold. Okay. I actually prefer this style as opposed to the body contact probe that's flat. In fact, I usually take this piece off so that I'm left with a beaded chain, and then I actually play with the beaded chain. Of course, for the video, I'm not going to be able to get it off. Okay, so we get the contact pad off. Now I actually have a beaded chain that I can use directly in my wand. Okay. There's going to be two techniques that we're teaching. We won't do it in this video. But one of the techniques is called direct approach or direct contact. And that's any attachment that I can directly plug into my wand and the attachment's energized. Your most common attachments that probably everyone that's seen a violet wand is familiar with are the glass ones. The most common, I call it a mushroom because to me it looks like a mushroom shape. So you have a mushroom, you have one that almost looks like a comb that actually in the early part of the 1900s was used in hair salons for hair and follicle stimulation. And then there's one it's about the size of a finger, so I call it a finger. Actually was, I think, used as a nasal probe at one point in the wand's life when it was used for medical procedures. It's typically no longer used for medical procedures. Most applications, when you see someone using a violet wand, it's in BDSM or erotic stimulation. So direct, think of direct as anything you plug directly into the wand. Indirect would be when I'm using the contact body probe and I plug it into the wand, and then I have the person that I'm playing with hold this probe. And that literally turns their whole body, energizes their whole body, so that anything I indirectly touch them with is going to result in play. So what does the wand do? Well, it produces very low, very high frequency, very high voltage, and very low amperage. So we're going to demonstrate this with of course, a bottom. But for just for tonight, think of a wand as creating like a static electricity gap. In the wintertime, when you touch a door handle and you get that static electricity shock, that's very much like the way a wand will feel when it's turned way down. The only difference is when you touch a door handle, it's one shock. When you're playing with a wand that's got a Tesla coil that's continuously generating energy, it's like a continuous static electricity shock. I find that people that are ticklish typically respond to a wand in a very ticklish manner. People that aren't ticklish still enjoy it. In the 20 years I've been playing with violet wands, people either love the sensation or they don't like the sensation and they don't want to play with a wand. So it's a love-hate kind of thing. But violet wand is considered part of electric play. In the broader umbrella of electric play, there's certainly other types of electric devices in BDSM, tens units, Folsom boxes, different types of electrical generators that are used. And depending on what type of electrical device it is, we'll recommend different types of play. Some only would happen below the waist. But a violet wand, because it's such low amperage and high voltage, can pretty much be used over any part of the body. I would caution you to avoid the eyes, avoid jewelry. Don't hover a wand continuously over a piercing, as the piercing's going to heat up. So those are kind of the general precautions. And the brief introduction, you've got a less portable unit and a very portable unit, and direct contact play and indirect play. In the next videos, we'll actually demonstrate indirect and direct play.